Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. And today we have a very important update on the charts because in 24 hours, well, something very important might happen. Having said that, hopefully you guys all took the trade that I explained in yesterday's video. To quickly remind you guys, we basically said if this persists, alright, if we get the breakout towards the downside with confirmation, this is the perfect time to short. I actually said in this video only go for about 1% worth of profit. At the end of the day, I kind of overstayed my welcome and went for about 3%. I actually made a little video over in Telegram explaining to you guys exactly what my trade was looking like and exactly what I was doing and how much money we made and whatnot. But I'm also going to be sharing a lot more stuff over in the Telegram about the exact specifics of my trade. I just have to kind of get into it. Right now I'm trying with some more video updates every now and then, but I definitely have to get even more involved, and I'm trying to, guys. Alright, before I go on, guys, make sure you check out the link down below for the WSOT 2022. This is basically an $8 million trading competition right now where we work in teams. And it's very important to understand that if our team wins, which I honestly hope it's going to, that every single person that's in this team will get some of the money, at least. So it's very much worth it to just sign up and get yourself in. Does it cost anything? Absolutely not. All you need is a Bybit account and to have $500 in your account. But if you're signing up in the next, I think, 14 hours or so, maybe a little bit more, you actually get a free NFT and a couple of other bonuses. I think you get a couple tens of dollars for free. Like I think they will deposit $50 just for you to have. But you're also actually in a new pool of my giveaways because I said to you guys, anybody that's in my team will have access to a new very huge giveaway that I'm going to do, and it might be $10,000 or so that I split over my team or something like that. So if you want to be part of that, use the link down below for Bybit and go ahead and check it out. If we win, I might even give away $100,000 just to the people that were in my team. That's again extra from the prizes that you actually win from the competition itself. We're going to trade like madmen, and also make sure you join the Telegram, by the way. Having said that, this is a structure which I trade very often, and I describe it to you guys very often as well. If you have a specific triangle like this, it works for channels as well, for a lot of them at least. Let's say we already concluded that the channel is valid, or the triangle is valid, so to speak. The moment we get a breakout, we always wait for the confirmation, and then we take the trade. In this case here, I told you guys, put your stop loss most likely at about, the level of the triangle, the support basically, or in that point the resistance, or a little bit above it, just to kind of stir away from another small or slight retest. But having said that, at the first glance, when you opened your short position, it looked as if you were going to lose money. And that's very often the thing with trading. You think you're going to lose money from the get-go, and then the trick is to stay to the strategy and to not let your emotions take over and to just sell while you're at the 0.8% loss or so. Now, since obviously you can't buy the exact confirmation candle, you have to buy a little bit afterwards, my buy-in, or basically my sell position, opened at about 29.18. So let's say right around this level. I opened my short position, and again, I'm just kind of drafting here how much profit you could have gotten if you got it all the way towards the bottom. Would have been roughly about 4%, or let's say 3.8% or so. With the leverage, in my case, I used about 13x leverage or so, which let's say is about 40% profit on this trade. And again, guys, I traded 2 Bitcoins over on Bybit right now, so that's a pretty good profit if you think about it for one day. And again, the thing is, you got to understand this really properly. Sometimes it won't work. In this case here, we could have actually had it so that this was, for example, a breakout with the confirmation, and it's going to retest, but actually come right back into the channel and then eventually break out towards the upside. As we've also seen a basically fake breakout towards the upside a couple weeks ago. Now, the thing is, though, because the trend is so negative, and because we had these inflation numbers and our bias is basically very negative, I'm a little bit more easily going into short positions rather than long, because all this news is negative, right? And of course, the crypto markets have been going downwards for a little while. That's, however, only on the short term. But let me quickly reiterate here. If you take 10 trades, it'll most likely be that at least 2 of them lose. So if you put all your money into one trade, that's not a smart thing if you ask me, all right? Hopefully, you're going for about 1% of your total value into each trade of your trading stash, maybe a little bit more, depending on what type of trader you are, depending on how many trades you're going to take. But I usually make sure that I can do a lot of trades to make sure eventually I win. And I'd rather just build myself up slowly than try to go the fast route and lose everything in the process. Again, guys, to kind of confirm, right now we were biased by a lot of different things, right? We had the S&P go on such a negative streak. It was actually a really big gap. It was really negative. Following that, we also expected crypto to act negatively too, which is what we described yesterday. Bitcoin actually broke below its channel and is actually still remaining at a retesting level of the bottom, actually from the downside of the channel. And XRP again broke through and is right now also retesting the top of this channel, or specifically a pennant. So why am I saying that the next 24 hours or whatnot are going to be so important? Well, if you kind of zoom out for a little bit, we all know, and I think you guys will all agree with me here, crypto is the freaking stuff, all right? I've described to you guys a dozen times by now. I believe in this technology and this space to the fullest, and I also believe that every single time you buy crypto, you will make money on that, depending on whether or not you buy the useful ones. Again, I personally think everything ISO 2022 connected will always be very profitable. But also at Bitcoin, also in Ethereum, over periods of time that are a little bit, let's say a couple months, you'll be in a lot of profit, I personally think. Here's, for example, a weekly chart. And if you just look at it, right, we can do logarithmic or even normal, I think. Yeah, on a normal chart, it's a little bit too far away to view. So a logarithmic chart, just to put it into perspective here, Bitcoin keeps having these similar sorts of moves over years and years and years. Again, this started all the way back in 2014, because that's kind of how far back this exchange kind of goes. But if you just think about it, Bitcoin keeps continuing on like this and has done that for the last 80 years. There's a very high probability it'll just continue to keep going up like this. And yes, we can go sideways for a little while. Yes, we could go downwards for a little bit, but eventually it's going to turn back around. And again, guys, we're watching two specific models, one of them being this one right here. All right, right now we are a little bit below what we saw as a critical close. We actually did not want to end the week below 28.8 thousand. Right now, of course, it's Saturday, and tomorrow we're going to get a close going. If we do end up closing as negative as we are right now, this little structure, at least for this point, has showcased there's a breakout towards the downside. We're going to wait for confirmation, obviously, but that could mean we're going to open up a crazy short position, and I'm definitely going to take it all the way, potentially towards even like $20,000 or so, $18,800 or so, very, very deep, all right, if we do manage to break towards the downside and get confirming week, which is, again, a negative week next week. But the next 24 hours are going to signify whether or not we're going to bounce back up. And I still honestly expect if we take a month or two that we're going to be seeing this upside of at least 34,000, but I honestly expect $40,000 plus. You can see here though, not every model is showing the exact same thing. Here I told you guys what our critical close area would be, and the lowest on this front is about $28.6 thousand or so, which we're hovering at right now. We're hovering exactly at 28.6 thousand, and that's exactly what we're kind of watching. I guess the lowest of the lowest is about 28.5 maybe, but the reason I'm saying 28.6 is because that also coincides with our little channel, which has been ongoing for the last couple of weeks already. This is on the 4-hour chart, and the rest of course is on the weekly. But let's just quickly conclude. If we do end up closing above 28.6 thousand, all right, but hopefully even above 28.8, I'm going to be extremely bullish still. And I still expect a crazy recovery over the next couple of days, if not weeks. A crazy recovery with a lot of bullishness. If we do manage to close below 28. I'm going to say 28.8, 28.6, somewhere below there. Let's say below 28.6. I'm going to be very bearish. I'm going to watch for a confirmation on the next week, but at least it's not as I'm going to say easy to open up a long position at that point because we had such a negative close. So some people will take some trades prematurely here. I'm waiting out a little bit to see what's going on. Again, we just took our trade. It was amazing this time around. And I'll tell you guys if I'm going to take another trade in the short term here. But right now, that was it. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Again, realize that this all is coming due to the inflation numbers. This is not just anything that's about to stay for a long time, in the sense that, I mean, these inflation numbers come out every single month. People knew it was going to be high. They just expected it to be 0.3 or so lower than it was, or than it is now. I'm not so sure as to why this should stay, priced into crypto dollar. I explained to you guys before why the correlation is so high between inflation / S&P / Bitcoin / crypto as a whole, basically. But even a little bit more specifically for XRP right now, you can see we're basically fighting a critical battle here for XRP. It's trying to get back above there. And honestly, you can actually, there's not actually a stupid thing, get a trade going the moment that we break out again towards the upside for XRP. But again, I want it to be a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin. So even for XRP, I suggest, personally, not financial advice, to wait a little bit. But there's a good chance they're going to flip bullish again, get ourselves the same sort of structure that we've seen a dozen of times already, and then open up a juicy long position for XRP as well.